Hi, my name is Steve Corona, and I am your host for this virtual internship. And today, we're going to be speaking with Sal Soto, who is a broker/realtor with the Keller Williams Real Estate Agency here in Fort Wayne. And we're going to find out a little bit more information about how you too might want to become a broker and realtor. So tell me about your line of business.
So my line of business in real estate, it's very interesting. We have, throughout one day, I can be on one property that's a $20,000 house in just an old neighborhood. Then I can be at $1 million house in the middle of a forest. And by the end of that day, I'm at an apartment condominium downtown that's going for $1.5 million. All of which, sometime within that month, I've got to either list it to sell or buy it. Help my clients buy it. I'm not the one buying.
What are some of the essential skills and qualities that you need to operate your own business?
Problem solving is one of the most important skills that I've learned in real estate that you got to have. We've got so many different problems throughout a day that we're trying to solve, whether it's your client's roof needs repaired, whether we're buying a house and there's something wrong with the foundation, maybe the furnace needs to be inspected, but throughout that day, the question is, what problem are we solving? And by the end of the day, did we solve that problem?
I think a lot of people don't understand all of the things that a realtor does in selling a home. I think that a lot of people think that you show a home on Sunday and sell it on Monday, and a couple of weeks later you have people that come in and sign paperwork.
Yeah, I wish. What goes into our business on average is usually a month ahead of time, we're planning when are we going to sell this house. It's like a stock, so it goes up and down in value depending on what time we put it on the market. We're looking at what type of video are we going to do. Are we doing photos? What type of photos? Are we going to do them during the day? Are we doing them at night? So we kind of go through a whole marketing plan. Then we go through a sales plan. Then we meet with the client and we discuss those plans. Then we actually execute that plan, and then we get the house on the market. So it's usually a few weeks ahead of time that no one's seeing in the background.
So it's more than just putting a for sale sign in someone's yard and holding an open house.
Yes, definitely. Even when we do the open house, there's strategies to everything we do.
What previous experiences were beneficial to you prior to becoming a broker/realtor?
Well, what's funny is interning for event planning organizations, and it was because you're constantly dealing with problems that you have to solve on the fly. So that was one of the biggest things. I did some interning with an event planning company back when I was in college. And then I think the other biggest thing was just understanding sales, just understanding how that works, and understanding people's emotions when they buy and when they don't buy. So a big part of before I got into real estate, and what I learned I needed was simply, how do you fix those problems and how do you kind of try to understand people and why they do what they do?
What are the skills and attributes to become a good person involved in sales, whether it's a home, selling a car, selling insurance? What do you have to have?
Good listening skills. You need to understand the pain point of why the person is selling or buying. So understanding that makes everything very simple, because you constantly remind yourself why they're doing the purchase or why they're doing the sale. And if you understand that and heard them, then you can execute whatever it was that they were having a pain point on. And definitely, I think that has helped. Hearing that person and why they're doing it helps me solve that problem.
What level of education and experience do you need? Do you need a college degree?
You don't, but it's helpful. But I think I know people that come out of high school and go directly into real estate. They usually intern or broker, become a broker's assistant, and they do that for a year or two, and they learn the ropes, and then they get into full-blown being a realtor.
What can someone expect to earn in their first year of selling homes?
Depending on the market and where they're located, probably between $25,000 and $35,000. Just entry level, no real experience, and maybe being on a team with other realtors.
And after 5 years, what could you make if you've done well in the business?
$65,000 to about $100,000.
So is there any way to train for this job?
Yes, intern. You volunteer and or just go work as an administrative assistant for a real estate broker or for a real estate team. And there's where you learn the ins and outs and the photography and the website marketing, and you start learning all the things you need to do so that when you become your own licensed broker, you have contacts and you have an understanding of how the market works.
What are the ongoing duties and responsibilities that you face every day?
It's keeping on top of all of the different deals we have going on that are at different levels of that sales process. Some are about to close this Friday. Some we have to get an inspection done. Some we're doing appraisals. So we have this big map of where every deal is and keeping on top of every one of those deals.
Tell me a little bit about the typical workday and work week. Is it 3 days a week, 5 days a week, 4 hours a day, 8 hours, 12 hours? What's it like for you?
It's about 5 days on average. We usually take maybe Monday or Tuesdays off because we worked kind of over the weekend. We're typically working between 4 and 6 hours a day at various times, so I can take a 2-hour lunch break, but then I got to go show houses tonight till 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. But it's a really flex. The one thing I love about real estate, I had different careers. This one gives me so much flexibility in my schedule because I have kids, to be able to attend their events and still get my job done and get my work done.
Do you enjoy what you do?
I do.
Why?
Because I'm able to help a lot of people that I grew up with who couldn't fathom buying a house or owning a home. We help them accomplish that dream of both finding the home, buying that home, and then fixing that home to the point where it is now their dream home, their dream house.
So it's not all about money.
No. If it was about money, I'd probably be an investment banker. But definitely it's helping all those family and friends achieve those goals.
What's the most important aspect in owning your own business or in your line of work, being your own boss as a broker/realtor?
Yeah, time management. Most people, I could spend 2 or 3 days doing nothing and you'll pay for it 2 or 3 months from now. So I always tell people, make sure that you are working hard and playing hard. You take some time off for yourself to recharge your batteries, but that you're constantly staying on top of both your industry and your workload. Because if not, it'll come back to bite you.
What are your greatest challenges?
Currently, we have a shortage in the home market right now. So there's probably 20 people trying to buy one house. So trying to make sure we win, and now we outbid the other 19 agents. And if we're the one listing the house, that we've listed it appropriately and we're getting our seller the return on their investment that is the highest value.
How do you evaluate performance?
Kind of 2 ways. Closed sales at the end of the year. How many homes did you sell this year? Based on that volume, and then we look at also financial volume. What was the total amount of sales in your volume for that year?
I'm not sure if this is the same question or not, but let me ask it. What does success look like in your line of work?
I think in our line of work, success is some organization or a realtor who has just a flow of follow-up clients that we've got. We work by referral, some of us, and those of us who are able to constantly work simply by referral and keep growing every year, that's success because it shows that those people that you sold a house to last year trusted you enough to tell their friends and family about you.
Are there opportunities for advancement from here? Do you have aspirations of owning Soto Realty, or what's the next step up?
Yeah, the biggest thing in real estate is how high up do you want to go? I'm constantly asked, do you want your own brokerage? Do you want a bigger role at our company? I could work more hours, but again, work-life balance for me is very important. So the ultimate end goal would be to have either my own firm or be the managing broker of Keller Williams here in Fort Wayne, or again, have the ability to get into some type of what do you call that? Investment and flipping homes. We call them fix and flips. So yeah, there's a lot of different areas, but the biggest one would be managing broker or the actual owner of my own brokerage.
Is there a typical career path for someone who sells homes?
Yeah, usually they come in as in our career paths, it is junior broker or assistant broker, and then you go into being a realty broker, and you get your real estate license, and then you become a managing broker. And then at that point in time, that's the highest you can get unless you've got a law degree in real estate law.
Well, let me ask that question then. Are there professional organizations or advanced degrees or other activities or certifications that would be helpful in this line of work?
The National Association of Realtors has several designations you can get. You can get a relocation specialist designation. You can get an investment designation. So there's lots of different throughout the year designations we can go to. We have a certain amount of continuing education units every year we have to complete. So every year we look at, do I want to be managing broker and get those continuing education units? Do I want to be an investment flipper? And there's even a designation for that. So there's throughout the year, one, you have to finish a certain amount of continuing ed, but then secondly, you have lots of different areas to pick from if you decide you don't want to just stay as a realtor and wanting to get in different facets of real estate.
Middle school and high school students are going to be looking at this video and trying to figure out a line of work following graduation from high school and what that exit strategy is of theirs. What advice would you give them if they're thinking of getting into the real estate business?
I'd advise volunteer, even if it's just for a day. See the life of a realtor, and if that's for you, do you like it? What parts of the day did you not like? Did they get up at 6 a.m.? Were they working till midnight? You know, so I think if you spent one day with a realtor, you'd be able to kind of get a little bit of insight into what their day looks like. And then you'd also be able to see some of the different problems they've got to solve just in one simple day.
Sounds like you've got to be a pretty flexible person to enter this line of work.
You do, and it's because we have different deals, as I mentioned, in this line of work at different points. So we've got, like I said, one closing, one being repaired, one being inspected, and throughout that entire day, I go and check on majority of all those transactions just to see where we're at and to see if there's a problem. What's the problem I have to solve to stay on top of that problem? So tomorrow when I wake up, I already know what problems I have to solve.
Final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Again, I think that in real estate and any middle schooler, high schooler, when they're looking at different career paths, whatever that career path is, I'd advise you just go and spend some hours asking questions. Find somebody that you may or may not know, somebody in your family might know a realtor or a banker, and just ask that person if you could spend a few hours with them just to ask questions about their career and what they like about it and what they don't.